So these are the CMF Headphone Pro by Nothing. They are a pair of wireless headphones that was just announced yesterday for $100. In this video, I'm going to focus purely on its sound quality and my first impressions of it. So right out of the box, you get 6 different tuning presets. The default is called pop, and then you have bass, enhanced vocals, classical, and electronic. Don't use any of those 4, they are really bad. The last is called custom, and this is what is effectively flat for these headphones. They are actually a really nice rendition of balanced, if a little bit dull. And it's that dullness where I think the pop tuning comes in as the default, because I do think it does a good job in making it more exciting and fun and enjoyable without going too crazy like the Nothing Ear 3. The way I describe the stock pop tuning of this headphone is that it's a slight V shape where the upper mids are a little relaxed and there's a bit more bass than there is treble. The bass stand, where you really hear the elevation, is in that, sub 100 hertz region or so, where it's sort of that mid-bass, sub-bass region, where there is boominess and thumpiness, but it's just shy of bass head levels. So I do find it rather tactful, where you get that satisfying bass response, just a bit of an extra thump and punch in there, but without, muddying up the lower mids or throwing off the overall tonal balance. So it is a well-done extra bit of bass in the lower end. So the mid-range of this headphone is quite well done. I wouldn't call it warm or thin. It's just the upper mids are a little bit pulled back, a little bit more relaxed, but not so much that you'd call it recessed or hidden. The overall structure is just nicely put together, so there's no oddities in the timbre that I could really detect right off the bat. So the treble of these headphones, I would say, is a little bit on the crispy side. There is a little bit of unevenness going on in its treble there, and when I first listened to it, I did feel there was a little bit of an artificial glare to it, though that did go away after the first 15 minutes or so once my ears got adjusted to it. I would say the treble here is a bit more focused on the transients, the attack of the hats and cymbals, to inject just a little bit of energy and just a bit of vividness to those notes as they come in. I wouldn't really call it an overly bright or exaggerated headphone. I also wouldn't really call it airy. It's just those initial first attack of the notes. And so that was it for the pop tuning of these headphones that come stock. Like I said, I quite enjoy it. It's a bit more fun, a bit more energetic, and I don't really have any issues using it as is. However, there is that custom tuning as well, which is a bit more balanced, a bit more neutral, a bit more even. However, it is maybe a little bit boring though, the good kind of boring that I think a lot of people might enjoy. That being said, that brings me to the major fatal flaw of this headphone, and that is there is no parametric EQ on these things, as far as I can tell based on the current build of this app, because it didn't seem like they ported it over from the Nothing Ear 3. What you can adjust is the bass, mids, and treble in a very vague and ambiguous way. I just didn't like using the EQ options in the app. That being said, the stock tuning in pop or the custom tuning that's just flat are definitely good enough to recommend this for $100, and I think Resolve will probably do a full video of these over at the headphone show.